I have a lot of links that I want to store always, and I actually don't use something like bookmarks in my browser or some file or something of that nature to store my links. I wanted to have something even more efficient and nice to use, which is why I have my linker. Right now, if I go to insert mode and then type in p space in my runner, I can actually type in the name of a link that I want to paste. And then when I type in, for example, FFmpeg, a video that I just recorded, should be either unlisted at the time of you seeing this, or the previous video. I'm not sure. So I just pasted the link to that video, and how did I do that? First of all, let's go to the runner, the actual thing that I use to paste and open links as well. So let's take a quick peek at the video, and it does indeed open. Don't play though. Great. So how does this work? First of all, let's go to channel. This is a file that I link in my description under every single video. And if we look through, we see that we have the name of the link and then the actual link as the value. So this is a map with the key and value, and then key and value, and so on. And in this file, I have the links to every single one of my videos, as well as all of my playlists, or at least most of them, and even some unlisted videos that no longer matter or were overridden. So if you're interested, you can actually watch them. They're all public technically. And also channels of my friends. And I don't think I've actually shouted him out yet, which is a crime. Micha from the... sometime, eventually, I'll pronounce his name correctly, but my dear friend Micha from the Discord of AutoHotkey finally started his own channel where he covers Kotlin. It's basically one of the good languages, along with Rust, period. Very good language, and it works very interestingly and in a very nice way. And finally, there is someone that explains it and explains it well. Micha is very good at explanations, a very good natural teacher, and he actually edits his videos. They're like edited. So if you like that, and you probably do, if you maybe watched content of Fireship, similar feel. So I really recommend this channel. I'm gonna leave a link to it in the description, and the way I actually do that is I type in Micha's channel and then just Micha's. I don't even need to type it in because wow, I have auto-completions. What a nice segue. Auto-completions, I can just click on it or press F2 because it's the second info. So let's actually look at that again. Now I set it to open. First of all, the first thing, I can just click to disable my action. But if I click on a different name, I get the link to that name. So how does all of this work? I'll come back to the choosing part of it, but first of all, let's finish seeing how we actually store the links. I said that this is a map. I actually lied, this is an array. Why do we have that? Let's go to environment. I start a question, I never finish it. I promise I will. So let's go to links. So links is a field that uses this method. And what's happening here? So first of all, we create a map, and then we set values to it. Set, what it expects as arguments is key value. So arguments one after another with commas in between. So we can't just put a map into the set method as an argument, and we can't just put an array there for whatever fucking reason. I find that stupid and annoying, and fuck HK for that. Every other good language would implement something like set range, and I think I did something of that nature. I have safe set, that's a different thing, and safe set map, which essentially you can just give a map to and it combines the maps. But regardless, what's happening here is the star symbol operator, right? So let's go to variadic functions and open another question without answering it yet. So function params and then the star symbol. What does this mean? It means that this function has a single parameter, which is an array. But now, because you put in the star symbol, you can actually, instead of passing an actual array, you can just type in your arguments. And all of these will be considered as if they are an array, like this, right? Yeah. So they will be the same as this. So on the contrary, we can actually use this to convert an array into just arguments one after another, which is exactly what the set method expects. The reason why I use this is so I can separate all of my links into multiple files. And as you can see here, I have multiple different files. Like I have stuff for GitHub and all the various GitHub links that I have. For memes, yes, I store my memes in a fucking AHK map. I'm serious, like, and I love this. Anytime I get a new meme, I just put it here and then I can just open it. Like Zoro is racist. Really funny meme. You can find it, I guess. It's in this file. You know what? I'll actually I'll put it in the description because very funny meme. Zoro F2, boom, very easy. Where was I? Yeah, so I have multiple files, and instead of all of my links being in one huge, humongous file that would be really difficult to work with and find stuff in, I could separate it into multiple files. Each one of those is an array, and then in the actual, where is it? Oh, environment. I just include all of those files, and then I can just add them to the map. Then return that map and put it into this. The reason why I use environment is because I hate global variables. I despise them. Technically, just using a global variable would work in a similar fashion. I just don't want to use it. But you could. There's really not that much of a difference, aside from having to declare your global variables. Fields in a class you don't have to declare, you can just use. So let's go back to the runner and see how we actually use this map that we now created with all of our links. So yeah, indeed, we have our map and then we choose from it. What is choose? Let's go to map extensions. Let me actually give you the links to all of these files that I'm showing you. Alright, now the paths to the GitHub to the files that I'm showing you are actually in the description. Let's go to the bottom and see that we have choose map. I have a whole video on the choose function and you should watch it because I cover how it operates in this entire operation in that video. But long story short, if you pass the key that completely matches, then you just get the value. But if it doesn't completely match, then it shows you all the options that you might have. So there was no link that had the name of FF, so it tried searching through all of the keys to get you a thing that actually matches. And now you can choose. Whatever you choose, you actually get. Or you can choose nothing because the link that you were searching for wasn't there. That's what choose does. So coming back, we get our link, but if link is nothing, which is what happens when you check or rather select the empty thing at the top. If it's nothing, then do nothing. But if it's something, if you actually picked a real link, then you ClipSend it, which is also a video I have. You could instead just use send, but I don't recommend doing that because send is just much slower than ClipSend. But if you don't want to introduce a dependency into your code, you could just use send input, send text, something of that nature, and it would work. Same goes for browser run link. Technically, you could just use run, but at least for me, sometimes when I run a link using the run function, the link runs, sure, but my browser doesn't open, it just blinks orange, which I find annoying. If you run the link, you might as well open my browser, right? So this is why I use run link, which does exactly that. It runs the link, waits for the browser to exist, and then activates it. So pretty simple. Now, these are the two things that I can do with my runner, and coming back to how I actually call it. So I open my runner, then O, name of the link. I get that, I type in, or rather press F2, and I get the video. So how does it actually get the O? How does it get the input? All of that you can figure out by watching the video on the runner, because the way you get the input doesn't actually matter. You could, for all I care, use InputBox, and that would be pretty much the same thing. But I've made a lot of tools and I really like using them, which is why sometimes my videos have dependencies and multiple of them, which is crazy. Imagine making videos that have dependencies. That's crazy. But yes, long story short of how the runner works, first of all, you open a CleanInputBox, on which I also have a video. Wow, would you look at that? Another dependency. It gives you something to type into. Great. You type something in. You press space. Or wait, no, not space. You press enter. First of all, it goes through this map and tries to see whether what you typed in exactly matches some key in this map. In this case, it does. And this function does nothing, apparently. What? Oh, libs, right. And it shows me the number of files that I have for AutoHotkey, which is crazy that I have that many. That's insane. But if nothing matched, then it expects, first of all, a flag, so this thing here, and then everything after is the actual input that you somehow use. So I can type in O space, now O is the flag. The flag is also the key. And everything else that I type in is the actual input that I use to search for in the links map. So that's the entire operation of how my linker works. Now, it took me 13 minutes to explain how all of this works, meaning it will probably take even more to actually write it. So this is not how I started out. This is what I came to because I realized it was easier to maintain in this part, easier to work with it in another, more efficient in another part. So I'm gonna show you how to make a very basic linker that you can just make very easily and start using immediately. First of all, let's grab like a couple of links. So 3 yap and paste them here. Cool. So now we have a couple of links. Let's wrap them. No, actually not in these, but these. Hold up. YS, no, CSBB. Great. Now we have a map, which is exactly what we need. And let's call it something like linksies. Cool, we got the map. Pretty much the thing that we need. Now let's get an input box. Prompt, title, options. We don't need anything of that. So IB, if IB result value. Hold up. Why doesn't it? Let's actually go to the docs and see how to use InputBox. I haven't used it in such a long time. And no, not input hook, input box. So the object has value result. So if result is what? Is cancel, then we return. But if it's not canceled, then we actually got a value. I guess we can also check for that. If IB value is not true, then we also return. Great. Now we guarantee that we have a value. So now try, I guess, send text if you want to send the link, or run if you want to run the links. Let's use run for now. Let's run link sees with the value of IB value, meaning you type in channel in your input box. Great, that key exists. You get the value of that key and you run that link. So a very basic linker can be done in just this. It's just that I improved it to make it easier to use, nicer to use, implemented the searching thing, made run better, made send better, and so on. But you technically don't need to. You can start with something this simple, so you can just store your links in a nicer way, at least in my opinion. So if this video helped you, press a like, type some comments, maybe have a question or suggestion. Definitely subscribe so you don't miss my content, but most importantly, stay fresh, cheese bags, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!